My future self will have $30 a year in dividends forever, and then even my kids, their kids, generations. It never stops as long as the company is in business and thriving and returning cash to shareholders. And this is the magic of taking money that's otherwise just sitting around doing nothing and getting it to work for me. Hey everyone, this is Ian from ppcian.com. I am back with another video about dividend growth investing. As you can see in front of you here, I have a bunch of change. This is my loose change. I recently took all of this change, I rolled it up into stacks. I'm going to take these to the bank and deposit them. So I've got some $10 rolls of quarters, I've got some $5 rolls here of dimes, and I even have some 50-cent rolls of pennies. What am I doing with all of this change? Well, if you watched my last YouTube video, you know that I am looking everywhere for more money. Any incremental money that I can find, that I can make, that I can earn, I am putting into dividend-paying stocks with the goal of driving a massive, massive stream of passive income and cash flow. So the topic of today's video is taking my loose change, turning it into $1,000 that will yield $30 per year in passive income, in dividend income forever. Forever, I will earn $30 per year by just stacking up this change, depositing it in the bank, and buying dividend-paying stocks, or a dividend-paying stock with this change. So, if you remember in the first video, I had a whole stack of quarters here. I went behind the scenes, I counted it all up, and I also added in my other change. This took some time, I don't know, maybe it took about an hour. It took some time. I've got $200 here, mostly quarters. I started with the quarters because that's where I got the most leverage. With anything in life, I like to start where I'm getting leverage. I'm getting good leverage on my time. And obviously quarters being the highest denomination of change in the United States, well in commonplace, obviously there's half dollars and dollars, but people typically don't use those. In most people's change jar, quarters are going to be the biggest denomination of change. That's the place to start. Then I went to the dimes, and then I didn't have any nickels, so I just went to the pennies. I had some money left over, I'd say about $30 probably, but after about $200, I reached a good milestone and I was pretty much done. So what am I going to do with all this change? Well, first and foremost, as I had discussed in the prior video, I'm going to invest 100% of it. This is marginal money. This is money that I have made or found above and beyond my base salary. My base salary I use to cover my expenses, living expenses, and I also use part of my base salary to invest. The beauty of making money on the margin like this money, or finding money on the margin like this money, is I can invest 100% of it. So I'm going to take, well actually I already did things a little bit in reverse, but I'm going to deposit this later today. I already bought the stock. I'm going to buy, or I did buy, $200 worth of one of my favorite dividend growth stocks. This is a stock that has a starting yield over 3% right now, has a history of raising the dividend each year in perpetuity as based on historical evidence, and it's a wonderful household brand name stock, blue chip, big one. And so what's great is this money sitting around in my change jar is doing nothing for me, absolutely nothing. By getting this money to work for me in the stock market, I'm going to start receiving dividends immediately. In fact, just in my first year, I'm going to receive over $6 in dividends because it's a 3% yield, or actually over 3%, and I'm investing $200. So just in my first year alone, $6 I'm going to receive in passive income for just having this money in the stock market, in dividend-paying stocks. Here's where it gets interesting though. Modeling things out over time into the future, this money will grow. Dividend growth stocks, the best ones, have a track record of growing over time. And a rule of thumb that I like to use, especially because the market has gone up a bit, historically I've actually done better than this, but because the market is near all-time highs, I like to model with a 7% rate of return. And so if I take this $200 and I compound it over time 7% per year out, guess what? In 24 years, I will have $1,014.47. I could have had this money sitting around for 24 years if I didn't take the initiative to count it up and to invest it. But by taking that initiative, I basically have turned for my future self, 24 years from now, this $200 and change into over $1,000 and change. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Right now, the average dividend yield for stocks that I like to own is around 3%. And a dividend, by the way, is when a company, a world-class blue chip company, pays out a portion of its earnings to the shareholders. It rewards the shareholders like you and me. And typically in the United States, dividends are paid quarterly. And so typically the type of companies I invest in pay a 3% dividend or more. And the dividends grow each year. And so in 24 years, the dividend yield on average, I imagine, will still probably be around 3%. But my principal will have grown quite a bit because we're compounding here 7% year over year for 24 years. Here's the deal. In 24 years, 3% yield on a $1,000 portfolio is $30 per year. So my future self will not have $6 a year in dividends. My future self will have $30 a year in dividends forever. And then even my kids, their kids, generations. It never stops as long as the company is in business and thriving and returning cash to shareholders. And this is the magic of taking money that's otherwise just sitting around doing nothing and getting it to work for me. It's in the market working for me. I love that. And so I am out there actively hunting for ways to find more money on the margin, really in any increment I can, because any money I can get working for me in the market, it all adds up. It all adds up in something as simple as counting change, getting it in the market. We're talking about $1,000 here in the future that will be paying me $30 a year in perpetuity. Now, this is a very important message that I want to share with everyone out there. I am a very successful investor, successful business person. I have done well in my career. That being said, I have a philosophy in life. I am not above anything. I am not above counting change. I didn't take this to the automated counting machine. They have some of those like at the local supermarket, but they take a cut. They would have taken, I think, 8 to 10% away. And so instead of having $200, I would have had less. I would have had $100, maybe $80, because let's say they took 10%. That would have been $20 that they took out of my keep. I didn't go that route. I did it myself. I invested the time. I'm not above that. I clean my own bathrooms. I'm willing to clean the house. I wash clothes. I fold the clothes. I do all of this stuff. A lot of people out there, as they do better and better in life, they outsource and they hire and they get help. And I think that makes sense in certain time and places where there's certain tasks that one can't do because it's psychologically draining, they're not getting enough sleep, it's impacting their health. But in general, I approach everything in life, everything, whether it's personal finance, dividend investing, passive income investing, or anything, that I am not above it. And even when I manage teams at work, managing large teams, I am willing to do all of the work, the same work that I would assign to the intern, to the person who's there their first day. I'm willing to do that work myself. I am not above it. And I think this philosophically is an important way to look at life. And it's really important in personal finance, because if I did not have that attitude, I would have missed this opportunity. I wouldn't be looking for these small opportunities. I would have thought, hey, Ian, you're above that. Should you really, at your age and where you are in life, should you be spending 1 hour counting up this change? You're above that. No, I'm not above that. And by having that mindset, I'm more open to opportunities. I'm more open to saving money. I'm more open to doing things myself that saves money on the margin that I can invest in stocks. And it's going to allow me to have a more successful stock portfolio, a bigger stock portfolio, one that is yielding more passive income in dividends that ultimately will pay for all of my living expenses. But more than that, I will be able to do good in society. I will be able to contribute earnings into charities, or even better, free up my time so that I can spend more time actively participating in charity. It creates opportunity. And so by being scrappy, by not being above things, it is absolutely the right thing for my portfolio and for everyone out there, in my opinion. It just sets the right tone. Now, one thing I want to end on is, in the world of dividend growth investing, it's very important to be humble. And this goes with the last point. Being scrappy, not being above anything, being humble. It all goes together. It all works together. And I am telling you, by having this mindset, it will do amazing things in your stock portfolio and in your life. So I challenge everyone watching out there. I challenge you to go out there, to find opportunities in the stock market, to find opportunities in your change jar, in everywhere in life. Keep an open mind. You're not above stuff. Think about ways to earn more money, to find more money, to consult, for example. Here's another one. I'll give an example, and this goes a little bit. I was going to do a whole separate video on this, but I'll touch on it now. I recently did a video about saying no. It's important in life to say no to certain things so that you can say yes to the things that matter. I always say yes when it comes to family. I always say yes when it comes to dividend growth investing, because that's my passion. I always say yes when it comes to my job, because that's my job. I got to do a good job there. Certain things I'll say no because I've got to focus, and focus provides results. However, I want to play contrarian here a little bit. I want to go a little bit against the very thought that I shared in a prior video. Recently, I received an opportunity to do some consulting. I don't have time to do consulting, but it was a friend of a friend. It was a really good guy. I really wanted to help him, and it was some digital marketing consulting. Long story short, I took on that consulting. Why? I wanted to, one, help a friend of a friend, but two, I wanted to earn a little extra money. Just like all of these, this change here, this $200, earn a little money consulting. I already have my bills covered. I can take all of it and put it into dividend paying stocks and accelerate my financial freedom. I can reach financial freedom quicker. So I took on the consulting. I knew getting into it that it was going to be tough because I just don't have time. And so basically what happened is, several nights I had to stay up late. I was up till 2 a.m. one of the nights, working very late, on very little sleep. But you know what? I did a great job on it. I put everything I had into it. I don't take on a project. I'm not going to put my name on something unless it's really, really well done. And so basically what I did is I did a good job on the work. I took it on, and the client was so grateful, so happy. It was exactly what he was looking for, and I earned some extra money. And I'm going to invest all that money in the stock market. So it's another way I was scrappy, going against my advice a little bit on saying no, saying no to opportunities. And I do need to be selective with these opportunities because I don't have the time, and I have to worry about my health and my sleep as well. But that's another example where I'm staying humble. Even things that I've told myself, I will always question them. Hey, Ian, should you really be saying no here? You know, the economy is really good right now. Will there be as many consulting opportunities in the future? I don't know, hopefully, but you know what? A good one comes, I'm going to take it. I'm going to jump on it because I'm humble. I'm not above doing the work. I could use the extra money to invest and accelerate my financial freedom. And so this is where I really want to share with everyone out there. It is important to question everything. It is important to selectively say no when it makes sense, but it's also selectively important to say yes, even to things that might not be your core focus, if they help one of your core focuses. And that's why I said yes here, is yes, I'm trying not to do as much digital marketing consulting these days, but you know what? I helped a friend. He was so happy, and that put a smile on my face. And also it helped my stock portfolio and accelerated my financial freedom. So this is Ian Lopuck. If you enjoyed the video today, I please invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I please ask you to add comments, to be part of the community. The community here is amazing. I get so many good ideas. In fact, after I'm done with this video, I'm going to film another one right away. It's a response to one of your questions. Actually, many of your questions, many of you have been asking this same question, so I look forward to that. But please keep the questions coming because these questions fuel the content here on the PPC Ian YouTube channel. Before I leave today, just a friendly disclaimer. Today's video is just for your fun and entertainment. This is not investment advice. I'm not a licensed investment advisor. If you are going to go out and invest money in the stock market or anywhere else, please do consult a licensed financial advisor first. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next PPC Ian Dividend Investing video.